What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Eddie Hearn is claiming that Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury is going to be a terrible fight. He said it's going to be absolutely terrible. Uh, he says that Deontay Wilder is going to knock Tyson Fury out and that it's going to be a terrible fight. But the thing about that is, Deontay Wilder knocks out all his opponents. He's knocked out every opponent he faced. So what's going to make this terrible for him to knock out Tyson Fury? It's only going to be terrible because it's going to hurt your bottom line as far as negotiation tactics with Anthony Joshua, right? He goes on to say, here's a few things that Eddie Hearn had to say. He says, I think it's going to be a terrible fight, and I think he's going to stink the place out. Hearn said in reference to Fury, he may even win the first couple of rounds. Now let me stop right there. If Tyson Fury wins the first couple of rounds, why would it be a terrible fight? That means it would be competitive until Deontay Wilder knocks him out. If Tyson Fury is to win the first couple of rounds, that means he's not stinking the place out, right? He's doing what he normally does. Although he did stink up the place versus Vladimir Klitschko, but it was successful, and the name of the game is win as you're a fighter. When you're a fighter, the name of the game is win, to be victorious. Right? As long as you win at the end of the day, that's the name of the game for a fighter. Tyson Fury has never been a knockout artist. This has always been Tyson Fury's game. So why all of a sudden is he not prepared for Deontay Wilder? Because that's what I'm going to get to. Because that's what Eddie Hearn alluded to. Right? He says, but I do think he'll get knocked out. Well, let's say he wins the first couple of rounds and Deontay Wilder does knock him out. What makes it a terrible fight? Because Deontay Wilder, he lost the first couple of rounds, according to many people, against Luis Ortiz. But then he won in a 10th round knockout. But for most people, they had Deontay Wilder losing the fight. So why would it be any difference? If Deontay Wilder's losing the fight and then he gets a late knockout, or middle of the fight knockout, why would it be terrible? Isn't that what the people asked for? Wouldn't that be exciting? Wouldn't that be drama filled? Because if he's losing the fight and then gets a knockout, that means he came from behind to get a knockout. That would make it exciting, wouldn't it? But we know why it wouldn't be exciting for Eddie Hearn. Why wouldn't it be exciting for Eddie Hearn? It's due to the fact that if Deontay Wilder gets a knockout, right, it hurts Eddie Hearn's bottom line in negotiation with Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. That's why. So right now, he's trying to discredit this fight. Okay? He goes on to say, listen, it has nothing, and he's talking about Frank Warren now. He said, listen, it has nothing to do with him. It's nothing against him. I absolutely admire Tyson Fury and for what he's done. This guy who had major problems and has completely turned his life around. And I have the utmost respect for him. He's not match sharp. He's not match fit. And I think Wilder hits too hard. And I think he'll cut him up at some point. I'm going to read that again for y'all. He's not match sharp, right? He's not match fit. And I think Wilder hits too hard. And I think he'll cut him up at some point. Well, that's kind of what Deontay Wilder does with all his opponents, isn't it? Isn't it? Right? Somebody stop me if I'm wrong. Right? With Gerald Washington, it went to what, 5th round? Then he beat it, then he stopped him. Right? Bermane Stiverne won 12 rounds the first fight. Right? The second fight, he stopped Stiverne early. Ortiz went 10 rounds before he got stopped. So at some point, he's going to chop him up and then knock him out. Well, that makes for an exciting fight, doesn't it, Eddie? That would make for an exciting fight. That wouldn't make for a terrible fight. Why would that make for a terrible fight? Oh, okay. Let me ask you this question, right? Joseph Parker versus Anthony Joshua. That was a terrible fight, wasn't it? But not according to Eddie Hearn. That was an exciting fight. Right? Why? Because his man won. But there was no knockdowns in that fight. There was no drama in that fight. That was a terrible fight, right? Oh, Carlos Takam versus Anthony Joshua. Let's just talk about that, right? It was an ugly fight, right? And Anthony Joshua got a questionable stoppage in that fight, right? So why would this fight, if Tyson Fury is doing what he normally does? First of all, he says he's not match ready, he's not match sharp, and he's not fit sharp. Well, Tyson Fury's in the best shape of his life, but Vladimir Klitschko got praised for coming off a 2-year layoff, coming off a loss, no tune-ups, and fought Anthony Joshua. Now, Vladimir Klitschko didn't have the same outside of the ring issues, substance abuse and mental health issues. So I got to give him that. But aside from that, Vladimir Klitschko didn't have no tune-ups, and he came off a stinker himself. That very same fight with Tyson Fury, right? So then he goes on to say that I think at some point, so that means he goes on to say, don't get me wrong, Fury's gonna frustrate him, grab him, hold him, spin him, push him away, do it again. And Wilder may be behind after a couple rounds, but eventually he'll get a hold of him, and when he does, I think he'll win the fight. Well, that's everyone. You just described every one of Deontay Wilder's fights. Once he gets a hold of everybody he fights, it's good night, Irene. So all Eddie Hearn did was describe Deontay Wilder's career. That's every fighter he's ever fought. So what makes Tyson Fury any different? I'm going to tell you what makes Tyson Fury different. He's the lineal heavyweight champion. He's never lost in the ring. He's recognized as the #1 heavyweight in the world by a lot of people, right? Due to the fact that his accomplishments. He's the man who beat the man. If Anthony Joshua got credit and praise for beating Vladimir Klitschko, then Tyson Fury got to get even more praise because Tyson Fury stopped Vladimir Klitschko 11-year reign. That wasn't Anthony Joshua. He beat Vladimir Klitschko, and Vladimir Klitschko was on an 11-year run without losing. He beat Vladimir Klitschko 2 years later after that loss, 40-plus years of age, and coming off a 2-year layoff. And got praised to the heavens for beating that version of Vladimir Klitschko. So guess what? Tyson Fury must be praised even more if that's the case, right? Tyson Fury will have to be praised even more if that's the case. So the negotiations is the reason why we know it's different for Tyson Fury than any other of Deontay Wilder's opponents. Because in a nutshell, it's really not different. It's really not. So at this point in time, right, Eddie Hearn knows that a dramatic knockout victory and a comeback victory versus Tyson Fury for Deontay Wilder hurts the negotiations and the bottom line in the Anthony Joshua fight, in the Anthony Joshua negotiations, when it goes to the negotiation table. Because he would have beaten the lineal heavyweight champ who was undefeated. He would be coming off of a knockout victory over Luis King Kong Ortiz, who was recognized, who was world recognized in the boxing world as the boogeyman in the heavyweight division that nobody wanted to face, including Anthony Joshua and Dillian White. So you see, we understand why Eddie Hearn is saying this. We understand this. At the end of the day, it's not going to be a terrible fight. If Deontay Wilder's behind on the scorecards and comes back and knocks out Tyson Fury just like he did Luis Ortiz, why would it be a terrible fight? Who would it be a terrible fight for? The fans? No, it wouldn't be, right? It would be a terrible fight if that was the case for Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn in negotiations. That's who it would be terrible for. But that's all I got, man. It's your boy Blue. You can check this article on boxingscene.com. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. It's your boy Blue. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Eddie Hearn said that Deontay Wilder knocking out Tyson Fury would be a terrible fight. No, it won't. It'll be a great fight for the fans. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.